So, for the last 30 days, I've been doing this horse stance. And I originally came across this when I was looking for ways to strengthen my tendons, specifically my knees, and then work on my abductors and hip flexors, and just had a lot going on. And it's mainly because of what I do. So I own a martial arts school, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So it's important to have good flexibility, but also a strong body. As I've gotten older, the damage has kind of taken a hold of me, and it's been really causing a lot of issues. So I have to do a lot of recovery training. Aside from stretching and working with a great physical therapist and my regular strength training routine, a lot of what I've discovered is the strength in static holds. They have really helped me strengthen and recover my body. And they have given me a degree of flexibility and agility that's really helped my body do the things I want it to do with regard to my martial arts. A lot of pain in certain areas started to affect my ability to even just work out, to do just squats. So learning tendon strengthening and other means of strength training through static holds has been a life changer. And you've seen me do some videos. I have a very popular video about dead hangs. I have a very popular video about the Asian squat or passive squat and sitting in those positions. But this is a little more intense, as you're actually sitting in a squat position with your muscles engaged. Because once I get into a squat position, right? Asian squat or passive squat, certain parts of your body disengage as you're meant to relax in these positions. But in a squat hold, this is a standard squat width, but you come down into a standard squat position, right? You have to engage your quads and your calves and your glutes, and just your legs are engaged more because you have to hold in this position in an active squat. So I started there with just holding a standard squat, your shoulder width apart, squat down, and then hold. And then I watched some videos and I learned a little bit about the horse stance, and I was already doing that, but not for a long period of time, and it was more out here like this, doing some Cossacks and some side to side like this, and then moving on to holding this position to help create some flexibility in my adductors. And that is considered by some another variation of this horse stance. So what I did was I just kind of created a routine, and I covered that in a video I did about strengthening my tendons for Muay Thai roundhouse kicks, or for Muay Thai training in general, through adding that horse stance as a static hold and increasing the time, but just doing it consistently. I'd say 4 or 5 times a week, minimum of 3. There have been so many benefits for me across the board, for my martial arts training, for my strength training, and just for my overall health. So let me tell you the benefits, and then I'm gonna walk you through the horse stance itself. So by sitting in this static hold, sitting in this horse stance, I had a QL issue that was bothering me for years. I did some physical therapy that helped, but that has gone away. I have a piriformis issue that maybe it's the way I sleep, but I think it's from all the kicking. That issue that runs through my glute, the piriformis runs through the glute here, I have to stretch that on a regular basis just to feel comfort, or else it creates a lot of pain in my lower back. My hip flexors, they get tight, again, from all the different types of training and just from training. My knees have been an issue for years. Fortunately, I've been able to recover them through a lot of strength training routines that focus on strengthening the knees, but they become an issue from time to time. Mostly, it's the agility of kicking. And what a lot of people don't understand, and I've said this in my Muay Thai videos, is that they focus so much on creating flexibility in here in the adductors and in this area, and they don't focus on the abductors, this area, strengthening or stretching this so that they can throw their kicks. They have the strength to do it. It's amazing how sitting in this horse stance improves all those things, but it has to be done right. So let's talk about how to do it right. When you do a horse stance, width is important. At first I didn't do a count. I kind of just, here's my squat width. I just stepped wider to my squat, and naturally your toes turn out. So then you end up in this position. Again, some people consider that an acceptable version of the horse stance. I prefer to try to keep my feet parallel. I find that to stretch more, especially the areas I mentioned with my lower back, my piriformis, my QL. That seems to just hit a little deeper. So again, started with squat. You could just step out a little further than your standard squat. what I started doing was I started sitting in a static squat, and then I would rest, and then I would just step out a bit and then drop into a horse stance squat, so a wider squat. The key is to not let your knees bow in, so push your knees out, okay? And the next detail is really not letting your back arch, okay? So I'll talk about that here in a second once I get your width situated. The new way that I do it and that I saw recently and that I do now is just a 5 count. So it's important. I used to start with my toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but look what that did. See? My toes are out. So to get the parallel footing that I prefer, I start my heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the width you want, okay? Now the next detail is when you come down, you're gonna do this booty tooch, right? Or you're gonna arch your back, you see? Because that's the only way you can really sit back. And that's gonna happen to most people. So a very important detail is to make sure that you're bowing this part of your body inward when you sit back. So how do you learn to do that? Well, you can try with your shoulders and just push your stomach away from your elbows and sit, you see? But the best way I've learned to teach my clients is to hug a beach ball, right? You hug a beach ball and then you create this ball, this imaginary ball, and then you boom. Your back is pushed outward and not inward like that. So here, right? And then you can sit even lower. You can hold here. This is also how like monks do it. They do like a stance like this with their hands, palms faced inward, okay? Or again, you could do this, but another thing I did was push my hands here to get my shoulders upright, and then I'm sitting more upright while I'm holding this position. So I've got my width. If you want to go here or here, then I'm going to sit back like I'm sitting in a chair, making sure I bow this in and don't let it push forward here. Sit back. Last detail, push my knees out and then sit as far down as I can. Hold. Now when you start, you're going to do, I'd say, I started with 30-second holds, right? And that's going to be hard. So work up to a 30-second hold. You start with a 10-second hold. Work up to a 30-second hold. And now I do like a 1-minute hold. This isn't something like the passive squat or the Asian squat where you're sitting in this position for like 10 minutes. Some people say 30 minutes. 1 minute. If you want to do a few times, that's fine. Like do it 3 times, so 3 minutes, but 1 minute max. That's all I need. That's all I do. If you're struggling to get down in that position, one thing you could do is do some squats first. So get that width right, okay? And then go slow. Because sometimes it's a little hard to get even below here. So you have to kind of push yourself. So sometimes to warm it up, I'll do 30 seconds of squats, getting a little lower each time. Just trying to get to that depth that I really want, pushing my knees out. By the time that 30-second timer is done, then I'm in a position to properly hold at the depth I want. If you want to really challenge yourself as you get better at this, you can pulse at the bottom, woo, and really feel that stretch. So after 30 days, I could tell you this is something I can see myself doing consistently for a very long time. I don't see why I would stop. Given all the benefits for my body from here to here, all the way around, if you can imagine that. I mean, my hip flexors, my abductors, my glutes, piriformis, QL, lower back, my agility, my flexibility, my strength while being flexible, and then my leg strength, like holding those positions, that it just really strengthens your lower body all around. You get some core in there because you have to draw your core in. There's just so many benefits in strengthening your body overall for whatever you choose to do, whatever activity you are engaged in. So if you haven't really considered the horse stance, you don't know what it is, you didn't know what it was, or you didn't really think it was something that could benefit you or whatever, I hope this opens your eyes to it, and I hope you give it a try. As always, If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.